Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Kennedy half-dollar coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1972 United States half-dollar coin. This coin may look like just another piece of currency, but trust me, there's much more to it than meets the eye. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed by its value and what makes it so highly sought after by collectors all over the world. Now, let's set the stage. The 1972 half-dollar was part of the U.S. Mint's ongoing efforts to create a coin that could serve as both currency and a symbol of the country's rich history. The coin features a striking image of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse, created by artist Gilroy Roberts. Kennedy's profile is beautifully depicted, his expression serious yet regal, honoring the memory of a man who was deeply admired during his time in office. On the reverse, you'll find a symbolic eagle, a powerful representation of freedom and strength, holding a bundle of arrows and an olive branch. A fitting tribute to the ideals of the United States. At first glance, the 1972 half-dollar might seem like just another coin from the early 1970s, but there are a few key reasons why this particular coin has become the subject of intense interest and big money offers. First of all, despite being produced in relatively large numbers, some of these coins carry unique characteristics that make them rare and highly collectible today. Let's talk about rarity. While millions of these coins were struck in 1972, finding one in exceptional condition is a rare feat. Most of the 1972 half-dollars that were circulated have seen their fair share of wear and tear. They've been handled, traded, and used in everyday transactions, which makes finding one in mint state or uncirculated condition incredibly valuable. When a coin is in uncirculated condition, it means it has never been used in circulation. It's essentially pristine, free from any scratches, nicks, or signs of wear. The fewer the imperfections, the higher the demand among collectors, and that drives the price up. A coin in this perfect condition can often command a price that would surprise even the most seasoned collectors, but that's not all. Let's talk about minting errors. Minting errors are some of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting, and the 1972 half-dollar is no exception. Over the years, collectors have discovered a range of different errors that make some of these coins exceptionally rare. One of the most well-known and highly sought-after errors is the 1972 double-die obverse variety. In simple terms, this means the design on the front of the coin has been struck twice, causing a noticeable doubling effect on certain parts of the image, particularly the date and letters. If you ever come across one of these double-die coins, you might just be holding a rare treasure that could fetch a small fortune. Another error worth mentioning is the D over D mint mark. This happens when the mint mark, the letter D, on coins produced at the Denver Mint, is stamped over itself. This results in a noticeable distortion of the mint mark, making the coin an even more valuable find. These varieties are much harder to find, and when they do appear on the market, they can drive collectors into a bidding frenzy. The rarity of these types of errors is exactly what makes the 1972 half-dollar so highly prized. Now, let's take a step back and talk about why collectors love this coin so much. The 1972 half-dollar holds a special place in American coinage history, as it was one of the last coins to feature President Kennedy following his assassination in 1963. The Kennedy half-dollar is symbolic of an era, and to many, it represents a tribute to the legacy of a beloved president. This sense of history, combined with its unique errors and limited availability in pristine condition, makes it a must-have for any serious coin collector. It's also important to remember that the value of this coin isn't just about its rarity or errors. The sentimental value tied to the coin plays a big role as well. For many collectors, owning a Kennedy half-dollar from 1972 isn't just about having a piece of currency, it's about having a piece of history. These coins tell the story of a country and a leader, and that connection adds an intangible value that can't always be quantified in terms of money. So, you're probably wondering, what is this coin really worth? If you've been following along, you can probably guess that the value can vary dramatically depending on the coin's condition and whether or not it has any minting errors. While a typical 1972 half-dollar might only be worth a few dollars in average condition, a pristine uncirculated coin or one with an error can fetch a much higher price. Ready for the big reveal? A 1972 Kennedy half-dollar with the right combination of uncirculated condition and a rare minting error can be worth an impressive $68,000. Yes, you heard that right, $68,000. Imagine finding one of these in your collection or in your change jar. That's not just pocket change, that's life-changing money for many collectors. So, if you've got a 1972 half-dollar lying around, take a good look at it. Check for those minting errors, examine the condition, and if it seems too good to be true, it might just be. You could be holding a rare gem that could earn you a small fortune. Top 2, we're going to talk about a coin that's been making waves in the collector community, the 1992 United States half-dollar. You might be thinking, it's just another modern coin, but trust me, this one is far more special than you might think. If you're a coin lover or even someone who's just curious about what makes certain coins valuable, you'll want to stick around. By the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how much this coin is worth, and the rare features that make it so unique. Let's start with a quick history lesson. The 1992 half-dollar is part of the Kennedy half-dollar series, which has been minted since 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy, who tragically passed away in 1963. The design, created by Gilroy Roberts, features a detailed profile of Kennedy on the obverse, capturing the elegance and solemnity of the late president. On the reverse side, you'll find the familiar image of the eagle, which symbolizes freedom and strength, the ideals of the United States. At first glance, this coin might not seem all that rare. After all, the United States Mint produced over 5 million of these half-dollars in 1992, and the coin was commonly used in circulation. However, as time has passed, the number of these coins that are still in pristine condition has dwindled, and finding one in excellent quality can be a huge discovery for a collector. Now, let's get to what makes the 1992 half-dollar truly exciting. One of the main reasons this coin is so valuable to collectors is its rarity in uncirculated condition. Most of the coins minted in 1992 were used in everyday transactions, which means they've been subject to wear and tear. The scratches, dings, and discoloration from circulation can significantly reduce the coin's value. But, when you find one that's been carefully stored and preserved, free from damage, the value can increase dramatically. In fact, some collectors are willing to pay top dollar for an uncirculated 1992 half-dollar, especially if it's in perfect condition, but that's not all. The rarity factor is multiplied when we talk about minting errors, and the 1992 half-dollar has some exciting ones. Collectors go wild for coins with minting mistakes, as they're unique, and some of these errors can push a coin's value through the roof. One of the most well-known errors on the 1992 half-dollar is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or misaligned. It creates a visually striking coin that stands out from the standard issue, and for collectors, it's considered a highly desirable anomaly. Another error that adds to the 1992 half-dollar's intrigue is the double die. This happens when a coin is struck twice, and the second strike is slightly off-center from the first. The result is a doubling effect on parts of the design, particularly the date and inscription. These double die coins are a true find and can be worth far more than a standard coin. One last error worth mentioning is the dropped letter error, where one or more of the letters on the coin are missing or incomplete due to an issue with the dies. While this is less common, if you come across one of these in your collection, it could increase the value of your coin significantly. Now that we've covered the rarity and errors, let's talk about why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a 1992 half-dollar. For one, it's not just about the coin itself, it's about the connection to American history. The Kennedy half-dollar series has always been a tribute to President Kennedy, and owning one of these coins is a way for collectors to hold a piece of American history in their hands. This emotional connection to the coin, combined with its physical rarity and potential errors, creates a perfect storm for a valuable collectible. But let's get down to the most exciting part, the value. How much is a 1992 half-dollar really worth? Well, it depends on the condition and any potential errors the coin might have, but if you're lucky enough to have a pristine, uncirculated 1992 half dollar, or even better, one with a minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. A coin like this could fetch $53,000, that's $53,000, or more in the right market. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1992 half dollar, with the right combination of condition and rarity, could be worth over $53,000. Imagine stumbling upon one of these in your coin jar or collection. That could be a life-changing discovery for any collector. So, what should you do if you think you might have a 1992 half dollar in your collection? Take a good look at it. Check for any of those minting errors, examine its condition, and don't hesitate to get it appraised. You could be holding a valuable piece of American history without even knowing it. Top 3, we've got something truly special for you, a coin that's often overlooked by casual collectors but is a real gem in the eyes of serious numismatists. We're talking about the 1971 United States half dollar, a coin that could be worth far more than you might imagine. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be just as excited about this coin as we are. Now, let's take a step back in time. The 1971 half dollar was issued during a significant year in American history. It marked a period of transition, both politically and economically. It was the year that the U.S. government officially stopped issuing silver for most coins, including the half dollar. The 1971 coin is part of the new cupronickel composition, which replaced the silver content that had been a hallmark of coins for decades. This change came in the wake of the nation's decision to remove silver from most coinage due to rising costs and the need to preserve precious metals. The 1971 half dollar features the iconic image of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse, a design that has been in place since 1964, shortly after his assassination. The image, designed by artist Gilroy Roberts, has become a symbol of the nation's deep respect for Kennedy, capturing his serious yet optimistic demeanor. On the reverse side, we see the proud American eagle, holding an olive branch and arrows in its talons, a representation of peace and strength, both of which were central to the ideals of the country. At first glance, the 1971 half dollar might appear like just another coin from the era. However, when you take a closer look, you'll realize that this coin holds a special place in the world of collectors. While millions of these coins were produced, the real value comes from rarity, specifically, rarity in uncirculated condition. Most of the 1971 half dollars that were released into circulation are well worn, showing signs of heavy use and wear. Finding one that has been preserved in mint condition is quite rare. Coins that have been stored properly, away from the rigors of circulation, are highly sought after, and that's where the value begins to increase dramatically, but the story doesn't end there. The rarity of this coin is further amplified by the minting errors that occasionally occur during production. For coin collectors, minting errors are like gold, literally. These errors can range from slight design flaws to major mistakes that drastically affect the coin's appearance. In the case of the 1971 half dollar, some of the more notable errors include double dies and off-center strikes. These errors are what make this coin particularly exciting to find and incredibly valuable in the eyes of collectors. Let's talk about the double die error first. A double die happens when a coin is struck more than once, and the second strike is slightly off-center. This results in a doubling effect on parts of the coin's design, most notably the date and inscriptions. In the case of the 1971 half dollar, a double die error can make the date appear as though it's been struck twice, with clear separation in the numbers. This subtle but striking mistake is something collectors look for, as it makes the coin stand out from regular, well-struck pieces. Another error to keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, which causes the design to be off-center on the coin. This type of error is rare and can make the coin look unique and even more valuable. An off-center 1971 half dollar, especially if it has a significant portion of the design missing, could be worth a small fortune, as it's a true one-of-a-kind piece. But it's not just about errors. The overall condition of the coin plays a massive role in its value. The 1971 half dollar was widely circulated, and as such, most of the coins you'll find will show signs of wear, including scratches, dents, and fading. However, if you happen to find a coin that is in near-perfect condition, perhaps even graded as MS-65 or higher, you're looking at a much more valuable coin. The grading system is an essential part of the coin collecting world, and the higher the grade, the more the coin is worth. Coins in the highest grades, with sharp details and minimal imperfections, can fetch prices that are far above their face value. So, what makes this coin truly special? It's the combination of rarity, historical significance, and potential for minting errors that makes the 1971 half dollar so desirable. This coin is not just a piece of currency, it's a piece of American history, a reminder of a time when the country was undergoing significant change. For collectors, owning one of these coins is more than just an investment, it's a way to hold a tangible piece of the past. Now, let's get to the most exciting part of this whole discussion: how much is this coin worth? While a standard 1971 half dollar in average circulated condition might only be worth a few dollars, the value jumps dramatically when you're talking about coins in uncirculated condition or those with rare minting errors. A coin that's been carefully preserved, or one with an error like a double die or off-center strike, could be worth $65,000. Yes, you heard me right, $65,000. Imagine finding one of these coins in your collection or stumbling upon one at a local coin shop. That could be a life-changing discovery. So, if you have a 1971 half dollar lying around, or if you come across one in your coin hunting adventures, make sure to take a closer look. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 4. We're diving into a fascinating coin from the United States that may not seem like much at first glance but actually holds some serious potential for collectors. Yes, we're talking about the 1981 United States half dollar. Now, when you think about a half dollar, you might picture it as just another modern coin, something you can easily find in your pocket change. But the 1981 half dollar is far from ordinary, and today, we're going to uncover what makes it so valuable and why collectors are paying attention to it. Let's rewind a bit. The 1981 half dollar is part of the Kennedy half dollar series, a collection that has been in circulation since 1964, following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The obverse design features a classic portrait of President Kennedy, created by artist Gilroy Roberts, which has remained unchanged for decades. This iconic image of JFK has become a symbol of respect, leadership, and the hopes that America had for the future during his presidency. On the reverse side, you'll find the American eagle grasping an olive branch and arrows, an enduring symbol of American strength and peace. But let's not get too caught up in the history just yet. Let's talk about the rarity of this coin and what makes it so interesting to collectors. The 1981 half dollar was produced in fairly high numbers, but the real value in this coin doesn't come from its sheer mintage, it comes from the condition of the coin and the potential for minting errors that can make this seemingly ordinary piece of currency worth thousands of dollars. Now, here's where things get exciting. The 1981 half dollar was struck in cupronickel, the same material used for most of the later half dollars after the discontinuation of silver in 1970. The coin was minted in relatively large quantities, but what sets the 1981 half dollar apart from the rest is that it was not widely circulated, as the half dollar had lost popularity over the years. Most of these coins sat untouched in banks or coin rolls, waiting for collectors to discover their hidden potential. But that's not the whole story. The key to this coin's value lies in how it's preserved. Now, let's talk about minting errors. A lot of coins, especially those produced in large numbers, can have flaws in their minting process, and the 1981 half dollar is no exception. Some of the more significant errors that make this coin so exciting to find are double die and off-center strikes. Double die errors are especially popular among collectors because they create a visually unique coin. What happens here is that the coin is struck more than once, and the second strike is slightly misaligned with the first one. This causes the design elements, especially the date or text, to appear doubled. In the case of the 1981 half dollar, finding one with a double die error could make your coin a rare and valuable piece. Another error that could increase the value of your 1981 half dollar is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not perfectly aligned with the die during the minting process, causing part of the coin's design to be cut off. The more dramatic the off-center error, the more valuable the coin can be. If you have an off-center 1981 half-dollar, especially one where the date or important features are missing, you could be sitting on a real treasure, but that's not all. The grade of the coin is equally important in determining its worth. Coins that are kept in excellent condition, those that show no signs of wear and tear, scratches, or discoloration, are considered uncirculated or mint-state coins, and they're far more valuable than those that have been through heavy circulation. When collectors are looking for a 1981 half-dollar, they're not just searching for any coin, they're looking for one in pristine, mint condition. A coin in this condition can fetch a much higher price than the average circulated one. And let's not forget about grading. Coins are rated on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. If your 1981 half-dollar is graded as MS 65 or higher, you could see its value skyrocket. Grading is an essential part of the coin collecting process, and it's crucial to get your coin evaluated by a professional if you think it might be worth more than face value. So, you might be wondering, what's the big payoff for all this research and coin hunting? Well, the answer is simple: money. If you happen to have an uncirculated, error-free, or graded high-quality 1981 half-dollar, you could be looking at a coin worth $51,000, that's right, $51,000. Now, imagine that for a second. A single coin, something you might have come across at a coin shop or even found in a roll of change, could be worth over $51,000. That's not just pocket change, it's a life-changing amount of money for any coin collector or enthusiast. So, if you have a 1981 half-dollar lying around or if you spot one in your local coin store, don't just write it off as a regular coin. Take a closer look. Check for any minting errors, inspect the condition, and if it looks like it could be in mint state, consider getting it graded. You might just have a rare and valuable piece of history in your hands. Top 5 and last coin. We're talking about a coin that you may have overlooked in your collection or that you might come across during your coin hunting adventures. It's the 1998 United States half-dollar, and trust me, this coin has some serious potential. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey into the world of numismatics, you'll want to pay close attention to this one because it's worth far more than you might think. Now, let's take a step back in time. The 1998 half-dollar is part of the ongoing Kennedy half-dollar series, which began in 1964. The design features the iconic portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. The image of Kennedy on the coin represents more than just a historical figure, it symbolizes the hope, the spirit, and the vision of an entire generation. The reverse side of the coin features the majestic American eagle, clutching an olive branch and arrows, a timeless representation of strength, peace, and unity. But here's where the story gets interesting. While the 1998 half-dollar might seem like just another coin in the series, it's important to remember that not all coins are created equal. The true value of a coin lies in its rarity, condition, and the potential for minting errors. And when it comes to the 1998 half-dollar, we're talking about a coin that holds tremendous potential for collectors, especially when certain factors come into play. For starters, while many 1998 half-dollars were produced, a significant number of them were released into circulation and quickly faded into the hands of everyday Americans. This means that many of the coins you'll find are heavily worn, with scratches, dents, and fading. But here's the key: if you manage to find one in mint condition, you're looking at a coin with a much higher value than its face value. Coins that have been carefully preserved, free from the wear and tear of everyday life, are incredibly rare and highly desirable to collectors. Let's talk about grading. A coin's grade is determined by how well it's been preserved, and this plays a huge role in its overall value. Coins in mint state or those that are rated as MS 65 or higher are worth significantly more than those in average circulated condition. If you've come across a 1998 half-dollar that shows little to no signs of wear, it's definitely worth getting it graded, because it could fetch a much higher price on the market. But it's not just about condition, it's also about minting errors. Minting errors are what make coins truly special in the world of numismatics. These are mistakes that happen during the production process, and they can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind treasure. For the 1998 half dollar, some of the most sought-after errors include double die and off-center strikes. Let's start with the double die error. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck more than once, with the second strike slightly misaligned. This can create a doubling effect on parts of the design, particularly on the date or inscriptions. In the case of the 1998 half dollar, a double die error can make the date appear doubled, a clear sign that something went wrong during the minting process. If you're lucky enough to find a 1998 half dollar with a double die error, you've just discovered a valuable treasure that collectors will pay top dollar for. Another minting error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not aligned correctly during the striking process, causing the design to be offset. An off-center 1998 half dollar can be extremely rare and can command a significant premium, especially if a substantial portion of the design is missing or if the error is noticeable. Imagine finding a coin where part of Kennedy's portrait or the eagle is cut off. That's a coin that can be worth quite a bit more than its face value, but that's not all. The rarity of the 1998 half dollar, coupled with its potential for errors, is what makes this coin so exciting for collectors. The Kennedy half dollar series, as a whole, is beloved by numismatists because it represents an era of American history. The 1998 version is particularly interesting because it was released in the 90s, a decade when half dollars were not in as wide circulation as in previous years. This makes finding an uncirculated 1998 half dollar a rarity in itself. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. How much is this coin worth? While most circulated 1998 half dollars are worth just a couple of dollars, the value skyrockets when you're talking about a coin in mint condition or one with a minting error. A graded 1998 half dollar in uncirculated condition could be worth $47,000. Yes, you heard that right, $47,000 for a single coin. That's the power of rarity, condition, and errors all coming together to create something truly valuable. So, the next time you're flipping through a roll of coins or checking your collection, don't overlook that 1998 half dollar. It could be worth far more than you think. Whether you find one in pristine condition, or if it has an error like a double die or off-center strike, this coin could be a hidden gem that makes you thousands of dollars richer. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an exciting discovery. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.